Hello and welcome back. So in the last video we created our admin dashboard, as you can see here. So this is our admin dashboard, and we completed creating this admin dashboard. So the other thing that we are going to build now, and the last part, is this front end here. And I'm so excited if you have come to this far, because now we are going to finish our project by building our front end here. And also after that, now we do the integration, where we be able to integrate our backend here with our front end and also with our admin here. So I'm going to take this line here and also cancel the front end here, because this is the part now that we are going to work on. So if you haven't seen the other videos where we have created our database, our backend here, our background services, and our admin, just go back and watch those videos, so that when we come back to this video we will be on the same page. This is a very interesting project, and if you go systematically, you'll be able to understand every part of this application. So now let's get into this part where we are calling the front end and start creating a React app for our front end. But before that, also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and also share it if you can, and also comment. So now let's do that. So here I have already opened my code here. So what I'm going to do is that, as you in the last video we used React and also Tailwind CSS, so that's what we are going to do in our front end. So here I'm going to close this admin part here, and I'm going to concentrate on my front end here. Also, let me make sure that I close these pages here, like this one here, everything here. So, and then I'm going to close this folder like that. I'm going to also make sure that I delete this front end here, because I'm going to create it where I'm installing React with Vite. So I'm going to move it to recycle bin, just like that. And then now what I'm going to do is that actually, let me see here if this dashboard is running, admin dashboard. So I'm going to open a new terminal here. So let me see if my application is still running here. So my application is not running right now. Let me check here also in my, let me see here. So let me just come here, and in this part here, let me just try and rerun this. So it is still running. I don't know where it's running. So let me just come here and maybe look if this terminal, there's any terminal here that is running. So yeah, it is this one. So I'm going to close this application like that, and also I'm going to just close it here in my browser, just like that. And then also here I want to make sure that I close this like that, so that we can have a space where we can work with. So here you can see we have this front end here. This is for the other project that I used as a demo. So let's try and now install our React. So where you need to make sure that you come is here in our docs. So this doc here is how you can be able to install Tailwind in React, and also using Vite. So right here you can see these commands, and I did this in the last video, so I'm not going to explain a lot in this video, because this is something that we have already done. And if you don't understand, you can go back to where we started creating our admin dashboard. So I'm going to copy this, and let me open here another terminal. So I think this one here. So I'm going to cd into admin, sorry, actually not admin. I'm just going to make sure that I paste this command here. But now here I'm going to change this from my project to front end, because that's how our project will be called, and the folder. So then you can click enter. So the other thing that we need to do is to make sure that we install Tailwind CSS. So I'm going to copy this second terminal here like that, and then let me just go back. So here it is asking me if it will continue. Yes, so it is installing everything, front end like that. So you can see here it is asking me to cd into front end. So I'm going to do that, so like that. And also if you check here, if you have installed, now the other thing that you need to do is to cd into your project. So that's what we are going to do. Also, I'm going to paste here now this command for installing Tailwind CSS, and also we are going to init the Tailwind CSS, so I'm going to copy this. So after we have finished installing Tailwind CSS, also we are going to make sure that we have done this or we have used this npx tailwind init -p command. So that is it. So this is like just repetition, so this is taking time, so we can just relax, and then when it is has finished installing, then we can continue with our video. As you can see here, we have installed the Tailwind. So the other thing is to actually make sure that we npx tailwind init -p, and this will take a very short time. So then the other thing that we need to do is to make sure that now we come up here, and you'll be able to see that we have this front end here. And if you check now, we have some files inside here. This is where our project has been installed. So there are several things that also we need to do. For example, first thing, we need to come to tailwind.config.js and add this code here under content. So I'm going to copy this, and then here in our Tailwind, so check here tailwind.config.js, and inside here now what we are going to do is to add that command there. So I'm going to save this, and the last thing that we need to do is to come into index.css here, and also add this code here up in on that file of index.css. So let me do that. So under index.css, so index.css is inside here, this one here. So here I'm going to add now this line of commands here, just like that. So let me also initialize this command, this application, sorry. So I'm going to cd into frontend. So I'm going to get into frontend here, and I'm going to run npm run dev, just like that. So let's see. So while it is running front end here, let's see also that everything is okay. So as you can see here, it will be loading, and then you'll be able to see that our application will be running on this port here. So let me just open here. So let me cancel this. So follow link. So I can follow link here, and then here you'll be able to see that our application will be working just right. So you can see Vite plus React here, and you can see now this is our application. So I'm going to close this install Tailwind CSS here. So let me just also go back to my code here. I'm going to push this down so that we can have somewhere that we can work in. But before that, actually, the other thing that I can do is to make sure that I install React Router DOM. So I'm going to get into frontend again. So like that. And then I'm going to do npm install React Router DOM. React Router DOM, just like that. And then now after it is installing here, the other thing that I'm going to do is to make sure that we remove everything inside here. And to do that also, I want also to change the title here. If you can see here, we have Vite plus React. I want this to read send it. So this is inside now index.html here. So here I'm going to change this title to send it. So let me add it as send it, like that, or maybe it should just be like that. So I'm going to close this. Also, if you can check here into your app.jsx here, you'll be able to see that this has a boilerplate code. So I'm going to remove everything here because we are not going to use anything inside here. So I'm going to remove everything like that. Also, I'm going to remove this like that, everything that we are not going to use, like that. So yeah, I'm going to format my code. And now if I save this and go back to my application, you'll see that we don't have any code right here. So Now the other thing that I want to do is to make sure that we don't have default styling, because if I come here inside and then say something like h1 and then something like hello, or maybe hello user, hello user, just like that, and then if you save this here, you'll be able to see that this it has a default styling. For example, you can see is as if we have default margin and padding. So I'm going to get into this CSS here, and the other thing that I'm going to do here is that I'm going to remove everything here from this part where we have this or the link, and then here I'm going to remove everything, and if I save again and check, you'll be able to see that we don't have that default margin and padding. So also I want to test if my Tailwind is working, so I'm going to come into this app.jsx, and then here I'm going to add something like a class name, and I'm going to change the color text to be yellow, just like that. Let's see. So this one is should be working, or something like 500, something of the sort. So let's see if it's working. So yeah, you can see that our application is working, and let me also change this to be yellow, just yellow. So I think there's no color, you cannot be able to change the color, just like that, or it's just okay. So now we can continue now with the application here, and then let me first of all close this, and also this Tailwind config here. So now the other thing that you need to notice is that our application should have several pages. For example, if you come here, this is our home page, but when you click on this button here, you'll be redirected to this login page here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going first of all to configure those pages, and in the other video I already showed you how to do that, and that's why I have installed this React router DOM here. So I'm going to just push this down, and I'm going to import now. What I'm going to do here is that I'm going to import, let me just come here and import several things. First thing that I'm going to import, and I'm going to import this from React router DOM here. So the first thing that I'm going to import is create browser router, like that. The other thing is router provider, just like that. And also the other thing is we can say navigate here, or maybe even we can just leave navigate for now. So something of the sort. Now the other thing that I need to do is, because I'm configuring several pages that we are going to have using now React router DOM inside here source, I'm going to create another folder that where we are going to have pages. Also I'm going to have another folder here that will have components, so like that. So for now, let me start by having like a component. For example, here we are going to have navbar. So navbar.jsx, just think something like that. And here we are going to use RFCE. You know what RFCE means. So it is creating these pages. So let me remove this, and then I can save that and close that first of all. Also inside here, I can be able to make sure that I add something like a footer. So this is, we are going to use them also. Here we are going to have a footer, and we are going to use RFCE like that. And then I'm going to remove this here. So then here I can save that. Also, then the other thing that I'm going to do here is to have now the pages. For example, we are going to have a page called login. So we are going to have a login here .jsx. This is a page here. So this one we are going to use RFCE to create the page that way. So, and then the other thing that we are going to have inside here in our pages is that we are going to have a home page. So .jsx, like that. And also inside here we can have several other pages. For example, we are going to have another page that is called my parcel. So my parcel, so all my parcels .jsx. So here we are going to have RFCE like that. So let me also remove this. So also let me save this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Let me also close this, and then we have this. So here also we have other page, like another page that we are going to have is parcels. So your parcels also. So I think yeah, I think parcels is okay. So here we are going to have my, or the parcels, something like parcels like that .jsx. So I'm going to use RFCE here. So create that page also, and then we are going to have now the last page, and the last page here, it will be, we are going to call it parcel, because here is where you are going to see the details of one parcel if you are a user. So .parcel.jsx, and then here we can have our FCE again, so that we have created that. So now let me format this, or let me delete that, and then save this. Here also I'm going to save this also. So now we are going to make sure that we can be able to create now our pages and configure those pages, and it's very simple using React Router DOM. So now I want you to notice something. If I come here to my application and try to go to let's for example say login, here we cannot be able to see it because it will be stick to this home page here. We cannot be able to at least go to another, like my parcels. So as you can see here, that means that we need also to be able to know how to create multiple pages for our application, and that's what we are going to do. So here the first thing, after we have imported create browser router and also router provider, the other thing that we are going to do here is to make sure that we have created the router. So I'm going to do const and then router here, and then this router here we are going to create using create browser router, just like that. Also we are going to use now the area. You can see we have a router, and inside here you can see we have this create route create this function called create browser router, and it accepts the array as an argument. And here now this is where we are going to have objects like the path and also the element which are pages. So for example, if I want to go to here, if I want to go to this homepage, that will be the router or the root page. Here I'm going to add the element, just like that. Here we are going to have to just add our home. So if I visit route or the default route, here we are going to have our home. So we are going to be served with our home page. So here I need to have a home, and then here I'm going to import it, like here from we are going to go up one step and then get into the pages, and then here you can see we have home. So just like that. And then the other thing that we are going to do is I'm going to make sure that also we have the others like here. So for this one here will be /login. So /login here, and here we are going to have element or the page here as let's say my, so the login page. So login here, and I can see that cannot be able to make sure that we import it automatically, so we are going to import it manually. So this home page here that is called login, so let's import now login. So you can call it either login page or login, the way you want. So here we need to have dash pages. We have pages here and then login, just like that. So here now you can see now we have 2 pages. So before I continue, now we need to add here, we need to make sure that here now we return something else. For example, here we need to return, let's return router provider. So you can see router provider here, and then we need to close it like that, but here it need to have a router which you are going to serve this router with the router that we have provided up there, just like that. And then now this will now this should work now. So I'm going to come here to my application, and if I reload here, we need to see something like okay, we don't have a parcel. So let me try and reload here. So if it reloads here, you can see that we are not able to see anything. So that means there is an error. So let me try and see here, inspect. So we are going to inspect here, and I think there is error. I think in console here we have some error. So you can see here the requested module source, then the pages home here, it is not does not provide an export named default. So I know where the problem is, so let's try and make sure that we do that. So here I have not included a page or a component. So let me just remove this. That I think now it should work. So this one should solve the problem, I think. So yeah, you can see already now it's working fine. So if I visit now the home page here using the route page, you can see that we are served with the home. If I try to now go to login, here we are going to see that we are on our login page here. So if you check here, that's what we have done. So for our app dot here, for our app.jsx, you can see we have created now 2 pages. So if we can also create other pages here, right here. So I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to paste it here. So we need here to be having, let's say we have a login, we have my parcels. So for my parcels here, like that, here we need to import now my parcels. So if I do that, I think it should be able to have that. So I'm going to import it manually. I don't know why it is not able to import it automatically. So this is my parcel, all my parcels. Let me see how I called it here. So my parcels. So this is my parcels here, like that, and then this one is from now the what we are calling my parcels. So my parcels here, just like that. So yeah, now the other thing is that we can import parcel. So parcel here from now these pages, and then parcel, you can be able to see it right there. So and then the last one here is parcels. So parcels, like that, and this one is from now, let me just add here pages, and then also we need to go to parcels. I think so. I think that's the now how we need to import them. So now we can create pages for them. So for example, here for my parcels, you will be able now to see it here. I can add it there. So the other thing is let me just add the path here. So right now we need to have a path for my or the parcel here, and then we need to have like an ID. So an ID, just like that. Here we need to add that parcel like that. Then the last thing here is let me add here, well, the last thing is we are going to have all parcels, and here we can have now the parcels page. So like that, and then now it's over. So that's how we are able to create now the multiple pages using the router DOM. So here I want to format my code. I think that's now nice. Now we can continue building our application. To do is that we are going to continue now building our application. So you can see here, this is the home page. So in our home page, we have the navbar that you can see up here. We have this page here that we are calling home page. This part here just showing us, okay, let me just go back. So this part here that you are calling simple, or this part that you have this simple, fast and reliable parcel delivery system text, and also we have this image, and now we have also the footer down here. So let's do that. So I'm going to come here, and in my code here, I want to open, let me close this first of all. I'm going to just have home here, and the other thing that I'm going to open is my navbar, because here is where I'm going to create now the navbar. So let's do that. So now the other thing that I need to do, if you check here in the navbar, you can be able to see that we have a logo, and also we are going to need this image. So let me just make sure that I have them in my code. So inside here, the public. So I'm going to come here in the downloads. So in the downloads here, I'm going to take this logo and also this image here. So I'm going to drag them and make sure that they are in this public here, just like that. So now after that, now I can be able to create the navbar here. So this will be quite simple because our navbar doesn't have a lot of things. If you check it, you'll be able to see that it has image and also this button here that has login. So this is very simple. So let's do that. So here, the first thing that I'm going to have here is to style it. So I'm going to have a class name here. I'm going to have it as having a height of 100 v or 100 pixels, sorry. So the other thing that I'm going to have here is a background color. So a background color here should be this almost like maybe yellow color. So here EB, and then the last thing that we are going to have here is 77, so this color here. And then the other thing that you are going is to make sure them that they are horizontal, and then we have items to be center. And the last thing that you can have is justify content should be between here so that they be pushed apart. And then also we can have a padding x of 10, I think so. Yeah, so if I now come inside here, so here we can have, now here we can have like a image now. So let's have image. So image, you are going here to have a logo.png, and then here we can have the height. You can specify the height. Height here should be height of 200 pixels, and then also we are going to have the width of 200 pixels. So 200 pixels, and the other thing is, I think that's okay, I think so. So now the last thing that you are going to have is actually, because I need you to see what I'm doing, I'm going to import now my navbar inside now the home page here. So let me do that. So navbar, yeah, you can be able to import it from the components, so like that. So you can see that it has been imported here up, and now we can save this. And then the other thing that we need to do is that also I can save this so that you can be able to see what I'm doing. So if I come back, you'll be able to see that let me just go back to my home page. So if I do that, you can be able to see that let me do that. You can see that we already have created this logo here, and also have this navbar here. So we have a button here, so a button, and this button here will just say login, and then we can be able to style it. So let me add here class name, and then here we can have a background color. So this background color here, we are going to use 1E, just just a black color. Also we are going to have a padding So a padding here should be 10 pixels. The other thing is we are going to have a text to be gray, and then 100. The other thing is or 300 actually. We are going to have a cursor to be pointer. So cursor to be pointer, and then the last thing that you are going to have is a border should be none, and then also the width here should be having a width of, let's say, 100 pixels. So here 100 pixels, like that. So if I now save this and go back to my application, you'll be able to see that we have our login here. And also I want to save this, first of all, format, and then I want to make sure that when you click this button login, you go to login page. So let me do that. So I'm going to import here link from React Router DOM. So let me just see if I can be able to see it here. So let me see if I cannot be able to see it here. So let me just try and import it. So I'm going to import it here, because right now I can see that it is not auto importing for me. So I'm going to import from React Router DOM, just like that. So here I'm going to import link, just like that. So as simple as that. So here we are going to have now like the login, just like that. Also we are going to paste here our button. So let me save this and format. So if I save this and then come back here, if I click here, you'd be able to see that I'm being taken to login page. So now the other thing that I need to create now is this part here that we are calling, or this part that we are calling footer. Let's now create our footer. So I'm going to get into my code, and inside here our footer, let me first of all make sure that I import my footer inside here also. So this is a footer. So footer, I think let me import it like this. So it's from component here, has been imported up here. So let me save that, and then here I can be able to, or even when you check here, you can be able to see footer. So let's do that. So here the first thing that I'm going to do is to be able to style it. So here I'm going to add class name. So class name, and here we can have the height of the footer to be 300 pixels, like that. Also we are going to have a background color here, and a background color here should be the color that we used for our background, for our navbar, that is. So I'm going to copy this right here. So copy here, and then I'm going to paste it here, like that. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add flex, and then items to be center, almost the same as our navbar. So here we are going to have justify to be between this one, and then the last thing is padding, just the way we did with our navbars. So here I'm going to get into now the other part. So we need to have two parts. So for the example, we are going to have a div here, and this div here we are going to have a div that let me add here this div, that is. So we are going to have this section, this part here, and also the other part here. So this is the two divs. So let me add to another div here, like that. So I'm going to add here the styling. So class name here should be flex, and then flex column, like that. So inside here now I can have the logo. So I'm going to import it here from here. So import that from here, or copy from here and then paste it here. Also we need to have another thing, which is the text. So the span here, and then I'm going to copy it from here now, from our project here. So let me import it. So to do that, it will be very easy. So I'm going to copy this one here, actually like that. So let me do that. So this one will be here. So also we are going to have another, I think we can have another span here that will be holding. Now let's add here our this part here, our text, this text here, that is the number here. So and then we are going to have the last thing here, the span here, and then this part here we are going to have it as let me add as a email, that is. So let me do that like that. So so let me add it here, and then now I can be able to make sure that I style this span. So actually the only thing that I can do for this span here, I'm going to make sure that I add here the width should be only 70%. So 70% like that. And then the other thing, I think I can just copy and paste this, or actually I can just leave it like that. So another thing that I want to see here is why we are having this text to be white. So if you check here, this text is white, is black. So let me see if it is because of styling. So I'm going to get into index CSS here, and you can see already here the color here, we are giving the color of white. So that we can remove that just like that. So I'm going to get back here, and you'll be able to see here that the text here is still not black. So I don't know where the error is coming from. So I'm going to also remove this. So let me try and see if we have somewhere that we did the mistake. But actually what we can do is that also we can make sure that we have, let's come here to the footer, and up here we can make sure that we have added the text to have a color, certain color. For example, we can have a color of 44 like that. So let me see if this will change now. Yeah, so we are going to leave it for now. So the other thing, the other part here inside this div, we are going to have let's say a span. So yeah, we are going to have a span here, and this one also, let me make sure that it's a class name, and then here we have a flex. Then you can have flex to be column, so flex col like that. And here under span here we can copy and paste several things. So I'm going to copy designed by V8 TechWorks here, and let me paste it here like that. Also we are going to have a span, another span here, and this one is for copyright. So I'm going to do that manually. So copy, and then here we need to add, actually this one should be, I think it's something like this, and then like that. And then here let me just copy and paste this text now like that, copy that, and then we can add it here just like that. And if I go back to now my project here, you can be able to see that we have this designed by V8 TechWorks, and then the copyright. So we have already created now this part, the navbar and the footer. Now we need to create this part here that has a text and also this image. Now let's do that, and this one will be inside this home page here. So you can see this home page. Inside here we can have a div, and then this div here we are going to have like a class name. So let's have a class name here. The height here will be, let's say, a height of 80 VH. So 80 V height, and if I come here, you'll be able to see that now we have that space. So the other thing is also here we are going to have a flex. We are going to have items to be center. The other thing is we can have the padding. Padding here should be a padding of 50 pixels. And then we are going to have a text here to be gray. and then 300, just like that. So the other thing that I want to do here is to have my text. So this one, we are going to have a header here, and I'm going now to copy and paste this here. So I'm going to copy this text and then paste it here like that, and then now we can have the image. So we have the image here. Now for the image here, we are going to use hero.png, and then I think that's all we need to do here. Let me see if this works. So yeah, you can see here this works, but we need to have we need to add the text or the size of this text here. So I'm going to get into this heading. So I'm going to have a class name here, and we are going to add the text to be 3XL like that. So let's see. So yeah, you can see it's making sense now. The other thing is we are going to add font to be bold, and then the other thing that you are going to do is have a width of, let's say, 50 pixels, and then the other thing, actually this is 50%, actually 50%, and the other thing that you are going to do here is to have a padding of, let's say, 550 pixels like that. So let me now see how it will look like. So yeah, you can see now it's looking better. So that is it. So in this video, we have created our pages in this project. So in the next video, we are going to continue building the other pages, and immediately after that, we are going to start creating or doing the integration. So that is it. I don't want this video to be longer than this. Thank you for coming this far. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and also leave a comment. So see you in the next video. Have a great